He's going smooth, but we did.
You're under arrest. You're under arrest. Stop resisting.
I just want to tell you guys this. The best, times 10, Conor McGregor you've ever seen right now. Better than he was when he was in his prime. The most focused, wants to do everything right. I mean, he's training his ass off each and every day. He's eating right. He's going to church. He's doing everything he's supposed to do. This is not a Conor McGregor that we've seen in the past couple of years. This is the best Conor McGregor that I've personally ever seen. And I'm talking on TV and everywhere. I've never seen a Conor McGregor like this, more focused than I ever thought he ever could get, but he is.
What's the David Feldman confidence meter at on us seeing him fight at the White House this summer?
Conor had said publicly, you know, that his contract was a little shaky because of the pay-per-view point that he had in there, but I'm sure that the UFC wants Conor McGregor to fight. He's going to fight, and they're going to make it work, and it makes sense for him to fight the White House. So my confidence level is probably...
Alright, we're getting into this with the game here. Alright.
And my strong rockets. These are missiles, yeah. These are fucking missiles. I'm 100%. This is, yeah? We're going in here 100%. I'm going into this fight 100% Conor McGregor. Not 92. 100% Conor McGregor. So it has to be really meticulous. We were right there with the last one. As a unit, we do it, right?
Sarukian, is he the hottest guy right now? I don't see anybody controlling the media as well as Sarukian. Sarukian's getting more headlines and doing more clicks on social media than Ilia Topuria, just by example. I mean, I feel like this guy's red hot.
All right, pay close attention. Because when we talk about what's actually on fire in the fight world, we're not talking about temporary clicks or loud viral headlines flooding your screen. That's just cheap, short-lived noise that fades out faster than a spark. For a fighter like Conor McGregor right now, as he prepares for a brutal war with Masvidal, the real pressure isn't artificial hype. It's the furnace. It's that ruthless, unforgiving self-evaluation. Those painful hours inside camp, fully aware the entire world is tracking every move he makes, every drop of sweat that hits the floor. The real question, the one that eats away at the core of a true champion, is whether he can truly reignite that raw, untamed fire, that authentic warrior instinct that powered his legendary dominance. Or if what we're seeing now is just smoke and illusion, something carefully built for attention. Because here's the hard truth. The Octagon doesn't care about follower counts. It doesn't care about viral posts or memes. When the bell sounds and it's just you and the opponent across from you, only two things matter: your fight IQ and the relentless heart you bring into that cage. That is the ruthless truth of this sport. Contenders chase media waves trying to grab attention. Champions don't chase waves, they create them. They build legacy through dominance and destruction. McGregor has to remember that difference, or this entire White House spectacle becomes someone else's highlight moment. Another chance slipping away.
Fun. It looks really fun. But Sarukian has now made headlines. Sarukian works with Coach Cal. That's a piece of this story, because Sarukian came out yesterday and said, I'm the #1 contender. I am to fight for a belt. But if there's a logjam at 155, fine, I'll just go to 45 and fight for the belt. And I don't know how much he meant it, but these things are interesting. Once they're said, they become
clear when you hear a champion say, I'm taking the belt in any division. That is never casual talk. You have to absorb that statement because it's a cold declaration from someone who already believes the gold belongs to them. It's only about timing and execution. That mindset reflects the relentless drive of someone carrying unbreakable fight IQ. the type that turns obstacles into stepping stones. And Conor, that fire, that intensity, that is exactly what must be sharpened right now. As you push deeper into brutal training preparing for Masvidal, you have to ask yourself one serious question. Are you chasing temporary fame, a moment in the spotlight, or are you building a legacy that lives forever in fight history? Because if that hunger for championship gold across divisions isn't driving every rep, every brutal sparring round, every tactical adjustment, then you're not preparing to be a champion. You're preparing to entertain, and that is dangerous inside the cage.
The reasons I think he is serious is because he then justified it, and he was talking about Coach Cal. All he said, though, is, my coach, we did the math, we can do it. And Coach Cal is a calculus genius, and he breaks everything down, and calories in, calories out, and monitors your workouts. I'm just sharing for you that, what do you think of that? I mean, this kind of went wild online. My own phone was getting text messages. Like, James, I was on an airplane, and James Madison has led me. I was like, did you see this about Sarukian? And, I stopped what I was doing, and I go, there's something interesting about
Probably heard talk about the cold science behind championship preparation, so let me explain what that really means. Champions, especially fighters operating at McGregor's level, aren't just training hard. They are engineering their bodies like precision weapons. This isn't just showing up at the gym. This is scientific optimization where every calorie consumed, every repetition performed, every second of recovery is carefully measured and controlled. They are constructing something unstoppable, and you need to lock this into your mind right now. That obsessive level of precision, especially when McGregor is targeting something massive like a White House-level event or facing a dangerous fighter like Masvidal, does more than build strength. It builds an unbreakable mind, a mental fortress immune to doubt. That confidence, that certainty, that belief comes directly from preparation and sacrifice. That is exactly what separates someone hoping to win from someone who already knows they stop worrying about ticking boxes just to make headlines or going through empty motions.
I'm going to fight for a title. Okay, great. Can you get a headline? Is that something that people believe and that people are interested in? Check and check. He had those boxes. A next step, but it's a much higher step, is to get the guy with the belt or the guy with the opportunity to respond. He already got Lopez. I imagine we're going to hear from Volkanovski anytime now. What do you guys think about it?
Conor isn't sitting back waiting for a fight to be handed to him. He's actively marking the target, forcing the entire conversation to circle around him. And understand this clearly, that is elite-level championship fight IQ in action. He isn't waiting for opportunities to appear. He's shaping the narrative himself, pulling dangerous names like Masvidal, a proven killer, directly into his gravitational pull. But here's the harsh reality you need locked into your mind. Hype, no matter how loud or widespread, doesn't throw punches when you're trapped inside that brutal cage against a real predator like Masvidal. In that high-pressure moment, the only currency that matters, the only thing that carries you through war is heart, skill built through endless hours of work, and a mindset that refuses to break. This isn't entertainment for cameras. It's a savage reality test, a battlefield where contenders crack under pressure and real champions are either turned into legends or brutally exposed in front of the world.
That he's got all this different potential parity. But that doesn't answer the question on what you think about that, because in many ways, does it solve a problem? Sure it does. We acknowledge in this sport, Arman is the number one contender. We acknowledge in the sport that Arman should be fighting for a world title. So how are we going to do it? Just move down to 145. Well, but we also acknowledge that Lerone Murphy should be fighting for a title. We acknowledge that.
Talking about contenders chasing title shots nonstop, then pay attention, because while there are definitely hungry fighters grinding in the dark trying to earn respect, the undeniable truth is this. A McGregor event, especially against a lethal opponent like Masvidal, overshadows every championship belt that exists. It stops being about who deserves it on paper. It becomes about who controls attention, who controls the story, who becomes the center of gravity. That's raw star power in motion. So what actually separates a real champion, someone becoming a legend, from everyone else? It's understanding that the biggest wars aren't always fought just for gold. The real war is for legacy. It's about stepping into chaos willingly. It's about that savage, raw performance inside the cage that captures millions watching. That is real fight IQ. That is the warrior mindset that turns normal fighters into legends. Lock that truth deep inside your mind.
potential options. I'm just wondering, like, what do you think about that? Do you believe that a bigger guy in Arman, do you believe if he cuts down, he therefore takes precedent? Do you believe that? Because when Ilia Topuria, who wasn't just the number one guy, he was the champion of the world, moved to 55, there was a little bit of pushback by you, the community. There's a little bit of pushback that just said, hey, listen, you haven't proved yourself here yet. Khabib himself said, we're not going to fight him. You're speaking for Islam. This is before Islam had left the way. He said, we're not going to fight this guy.
Level where limits get broken and real toughness is built. So step forward, face your storm head on, and never forget, the toughest battles are always fought inside your own mind. Stay dangerous,